Mars aspect Mercury in the horoscope all together with Mercury, and you can find out if you have Mars and Mercury in some aspect or together in the horoscope from my birth chart calculator. Go there, fill in your details, and look and look at the planetary aspect table, planetary aspect table, like I'm showing you here, and check the planet. The one on the top is the planet being aspected. The one vertically is the one aspecting it, and check Mars and see if Mercury makes an aspect to it, and then check Mercury and see if Mars makes an aspect to it, and to how many points. The most points are 60, the least points are 0. Basically, if you have anything above 40 points, is a strong aspect already between these two planets. And basically also check importantly if you have, if it says Y there between the intercrossing of Mars and Mercury and Mars and Mercury and Mars. If it says Y, it means they're together, they're conjunct, which is the most intense aspect, is the conjunction. Y means yuti in ancient astrology, in Sanskrit, which means with. So basically it means they're together in the horoscope. So if you have this, you have Mars-Mercury aspect in your horoscope, or Mars-Mercury conjunction. What does it do? Well, Mercury is our thinking processes, and Mars is a very fast-paced planet. So these people, I have Mars-Mercury, they might talk fast like I do. They might their mind might be very active all the time, busy. When they're going to sleep, their mind is all the time spinning in their head. Like my mom has this conjunction, the two planets are exactly next to each other when she was born. So sometimes she can't fall asleep for nights at 10 because her mind is going and speeding. So these people have to find a way to calm down their thoughts, maybe through meditation, maybe getting overly exhausted sometimes, but the mind is very active. And even especially in younger age at school, these people might have felt restless because Mars is this energetic planet that wants to go out and play and climb trees, while Mercury is the bookworm, so there might be a little bit of restlessness with the learning process, or because they learn very fast. And often not very much in detail, but they'll grasp it somehow intuitively, quickly. So they might be a bit impatient at school or with any learning processes. And somehow when their mind is racing, they might overlook certain details. But it's okay, it's not such a bad thing, And also Mercury represents one's siblings. And in the early growing up environments, if you had brothers and sisters and Mars is aspecting a Mercury, or with Mercury, there might have been more competitiveness between the siblings. Maybe you were reminded all the time, oh, your older sister or brother is better at school or better at this or that. So there is, in later age, this competitiveness which stays with the person. And the person might get quite defensive as well when they're being somehow attacked, when they're being somehow provoked, or if someone expresses something they don't agree with or a different opinion. They might be very reactive with that. They might try, it's like this competitive side which comes out, and sometimes they can be quite harsh with their words, because Mercury is the spoken words. And how we communicate what we think. And with Mars there, the person can be quite sharp, actually even angry. It's not like these people necessarily go looking for discordance and for arguments, but if someone annoys them, they would answer back very quickly. And it's almost like the words comes out before they've been thought out well, and they might be hurtful words as well, because Mars just is so sharp and so, so direct. And for instance, if these two planets are in a fixed sign like Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, the person might be less fast to react, because a fixed sign is a little bit takes a time, but if you provoke them enough, they can bite back, and you would regret that you even said anything negative to them, or that you even make a joke to them. My mom has that, and she would be quiet, and if you say something against her children or something that upsets her, she will bark and bite you and annihilate you. And I have Venus also there with Mars and Mercury, so Venus would soften my way of talking and expressing, so I'm not gonna be such a when it comes to communications. But usually if it's just Mars and Mercury, those people will be very let's say defensive. They'll also, when they speak, they're not gonna dress up their words they'll just say as they see it, straight and direct. They would just, they would not try to charm you with words and be diplomatic, but they'll be very good at explaining things shortly, concisely. Often they might have a good mind that is logical and that is good even at mathematics. Often I've seen it. And when they explain something, they explain it to the point. And their sense of humor can be quite sharp, can be quite satirical and biting as well. You know, just they say something and because Mars is so fast and Mercury is the mind, and it's this kind of a biting quality to it. But at the same time, Mercury is enemy of Mars. So if Mercury aspects Mars to a higher degree, say you check Mars, then Mercury in the vertical line, and you say that you see that Mercury aspects Mars to say 50 points or something, then or together with Mars, when Mercury is together with Mars, Mercury will weaken Mars a little bit. And what is the qualities of Mars? Mars is the your ability to act immediately. For instance, when you are in a crisis situation, say you're driving and a car comes across you, and Mars needs to react to the most possible logical way quickly to get out of the situation, you know, almost like gut instinctively. And Mercury is the planet which will start thinking, should I go left or right? Should I turn this or that? Because Mercury is the thinking process. And this can slow your reactions a little bit. This can slow your, especially crisis reactions. So these people can have, or because Mercury looks at all the different options, Mercury wants to see all the different options, while when you're in a crisis situation, you need just to focus in one option and go to the fastest, most logical option. And Mercury detracts some of those qualities of Mars, which can be, Mars is the focus planet, and Mercury starts looking at different options. So such people might have more often accidents while driving, might have often more different accidents in such situations, which are, you know, more extreme situations. So they should watch out. For instance, I can't even drive a car because I panic a lot. And because I see so many options when I'm driving, I'm like, you know. And also sometimes in sports, such people can be less patient, you know, and more competitive, and not so much the cool spirit of competitiveness, you know, the sportsmanship, but more this more panicky, aggressive spirit as well. And Mars Mercury people would also have more nervous tension around them. And you might see them being a bit more fidgety or a bit more, these are people who can more easily succumb to nervous breakdown, because Mars is the nervous system and Mercury is enemy of Mars, and this sensitizes the nervous system. It's usually because of over much thinking and over much stressful thinking, and this is people who have to watch out. They need to find ways to chill, to relax, to take it easy as well. And so they should watch out a lot the nervous system. Often these people might bite their nails. Mercury is the lungs and Mars is fire, so they might be attracted to smoking. Not everyone, but quite a few people I've seen that with Mercury-Mars contacts have maybe at some point in their life smoked because of this nervous energy, and this is how they try and calm themselves down. But of course, always the best way to do it is through sport or through some meditation, through the healthy way of doing it. So yes, this is what Mars Mercury is. Mercury is also friendships, teammates, cooperations with people. So these people with Mars and Mercury, and unless there is some other helping planet like Venus there, to help Mercury, to help the friendships through smooth talking, through, more diplomacy. These people might alienate sometimes friends more easily. They might break friendships like that if they feel affronted for something, and they might have more competitive friendships, so they might have more arguments in friendships. And it's not, again, I repeat, it's not necessarily that those people want to pick up fights, but when they are challenged, they would retort back, and they'll be biting, and they'll be caustic, and they'll be defensive in a sense. So don't anger such a person with Mars Mercury because you don't know where you're gonna end. And for them, it's very true, the saying that because Mars shows how we fight for something we believe in, how we protect ourselves in crisis situation, and Mercury is the spoken word. So for them, it's like they fight and they defend themselves with words. So they can be very good at that. And for them, the pen is mightier than the sword with Mars Mercury people. And again, this can be fantastic for certain careers as well, And also Mercury is the dexterity of the hands, while Mars is anything sharp, anything metal. So such people can be quite good with for instance, with sewing, because Mars is, you know, the needle. They can be quite good at, you know, making the process of making a dress or sewing itself. Or they can be very good at cooking with knives, you know, using knives and cooking and the technique of making all this. And they can have like sharp, quick movements of the hands. They can gesticulate a lot while they're talking. This is noticed. You can see it from me as well. And they can also, they can be like magicians, for instance, people who make magic, because they need to have very fast movements of the hand so you don't see them. And they might have Mars-Mercury connections, or thieves, because they have to fit quickly, you know, quickly steal something, hide it, you know, in some way. And Mercury-Mars people can also make, I've seen some of them make great lawyers, because as we said, Mercury-Mars combinations, their ability to fight is through the words. And if you want some really, really sharp lawyer who will protect your rights, or who will protect the rights of some group or organization, find yourself a Mars-Mercury person. And I forgot to add that Mercury is also all the things we enjoy doing, all the types of different hobbies we have, anything we find interesting to do. And when it's with Mars, such people will like doing Mars things, whether it's they might enjoy sports, or they might enjoy, you know, watching sports, or they might enjoy even participating in sports, or they might enjoy playing with knives, or as we said, cooking, or you know, sewing, or anything which is with sharp objects as well, which is Mars, which is more vigorous. Mercury shows what you like to do with your friends, or maybe you like to go dancing, maybe you like to go do some more vigorous physical exercises together, just go a bit wild, do something a bit more extreme, a bit more, you know, risky, edgy, which is all things that Mars rule, a bit more energetic, invigorating type of activities and fun. So I think I've mentioned almost everything. Please write your own impressions, share if you've noticed this in your own horoscope. Thank you.